Okay, so you got a guitar, you got a slide, and you got a finger. We're good to go. Now, there are two main components of slide technique, as there are for any kind of guitar playing, and that's these two hands. So we're going to concentrate on the picking hand in the next lesson. So for right now, you're going to just kind of set it and forget it. And what I want you to do is put down your pick if you're using one. No thumb pick, no nothing, just bare hand, and lay it across the strings, and with your thumb laying all the way across up to the B string. And the idea is that you're going to mute all the strings except for the open E string, and everything we do in this lesson is going to be based just on the high E string. So the right hand just sits there like that, and you're going to pluck notes with your bare first finger, second finger, it doesn't really matter. And we'll talk about all the variations in picking hand technique in the next lesson. But for right now, that's going to be plenty. And that will allow you to concentrate all your attention on your fretting hand. Or, well, I shouldn't say fretting, it's sliding because we don't play frets anymore. But I'll show you how to get your intonation and start to develop some of those characteristic slide sounds. So let's get right down to it. Now, as I mentioned in the first lesson there, I wear my slide on my fourth finger. You can wear it on any finger. The techniques are roughly the same, but I'll demonstrate obviously using the technique that I'm most comfortable with. So slides on the fourth finger. Now I'm going to play notes strictly on the high E string, and that means that I don't have to use the entire slide laid across the neck. Actually, just use about a ½ inch of the slide, and it's resting across the string like that, and it's a little bit tilted up. In other words, it's not parallel exactly to the neck, and it's like I just grab the neck and there's my finger, and I'm not doing anything fancy, right? So it's a very comfortable position, and my index finger lays across the strings parallel to the slide, and my whole hand is going to move like this, thumb behind the neck, and just moving up and down as a single unit. It's one finger fretless guitar. Now the middle fingers here on my fretting hand or my slide hand don't do anything. They're just up out of the way. And my index finger is tracking along with the slide, is resting on the strings, muting them, resting very lightly, or not at all. It can be up in the air too. When I'm playing one string like this, I've already damped or gotten rid of the sound of all the strings except for this one here, so I don't have to worry too much about my slide hand in terms of controlling the excess noise. So it's really about positioning the slide. Now the first thing about intonation, which is really the key to a good slide sound, is that you got to recognize that when you fret a note like this, your finger is actually between the frets. The 11th fret is here, and the 12th fret's there. My finger comes down like this. So I'm actually not producing the sound with my finger. It's actually being produced by the fret. So when I play that same note with the slide, I don't position the slide where my finger would be. If I do that, I get this. Woo! Yeah, horrible. So I have to move it like 1 millimeter, get it above the fret, and there's the pitch. So exercise number 1 is going to be about pitch. Now because we're playing on the first string, and it's the easiest string to press down, you got to use a very light touch because you don't want to rub up against the fret or you get that deadening kind of noise there. So the slide barely touches the string and rests directly above the fret, and it's just a little bit to one side is too sharp, the other side is flat. So I can see the fret, I can use the fret as a visual reference. It's very helpful. It's much easier than playing violin, but my ear has to make that judgment, and you have to develop your ear so that you can hear what you're playing and not rely on your eyes. It's very important. Otherwise you're just going to scare all the pets and drive away all your family members at the same time. which you may want to do anyway, but that's another story. Anyway, so there we are with the fretted note, slide note, matching pitch. So do what I'm doing here. Fret the note at the 12th fret, match the pitch, and with your ear, make necessary adjustments. Now let's try another note, 10th fret. Seventh fret. Fifth fret. Third fret. Open. And what you might notice is that we just played familiar minor pentatonic scale. So there's the pentatonic scale played with the slide. Now that, what I just did, moving more or less instantly from fret to fret and hitting the pitch spot on, that's a technique that you develop by doing this exercise. So start with the pitch matching on each fret and so on. It's not about playing fast, it's about playing in tune. That's paramount. Don't let tempo drive this thing. It's about quality of the note. So you play each note like that, you match the pitch. Now you play that same scale descending, and you want it to sound as accurate as if you were fretting it. And again, your ear has to be the judge, but you have to develop the reflex to be able to snap from position to position, get that slide set, and be confident before you hit the note that the pitch is spot on. So that's how you develop your intonation. Now, here's the good news. When you play slide, there are a lot of techniques that you hear slide players use, like basically vocal techniques. You come into the note from below, well, you know, your typical vocal phrase, and whoa, you come up from below, and then whoa, add some vibrato. And what that is, all that's about is playing around with the pitch in a vocal way. So it's actually much more forgiving to use those techniques than it is to play the notes spot on like we just did. But playing them spot on guarantees that when you add those techniques, it still stays in tune and doesn't get out of control, which is very, very easy to do.